Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit more serious than usual, but just a little bit. If you've watched my channel and are interested in this type of content, then you may have heard of something called Everywhere at the End of Time. But even if you haven't, I'm going to explain. Everywhere at the End of Time is a series of 6 different recordings done by an artist known as the Caretaker. And in short, the album itself is supposed to be an artistic look at the experience of dementia. Now already, as you can tell by that introduction, that this is a rather serious topic, and I'm urging you now, if that is something that you may be sensitive to yourself, or if that is something that you view as a serious topic and don't really want to interact with, there is no shame in clicking off the video, because it's going to be sad. However, I view this as a very important piece of art, especially for what it is and the serious issues that it's dealing with. Leland Kirby, also known as the Caretaker, made this as a means of giving people a sort of idea of what the process could be like. Dementia itself, as it's medically classified, is broken down into 7 stages. However, the first stage has no discernible symptoms, so the 6 stages of symptoms he converted into a sonic format. The first stage opens with a sort of Shining-esque ballroom music. It sounds like a vinyl recording taken from the 1920s, and from there, well, we're going to find out. Overall, people who have listened to the entire album have said they've experienced forms of confusion, melancholy, anxiety, and memory loss with regards to the tracks themselves. Essentially, the way one processes and retains information about the music they hear within this album is supposed to represent what some people feel about their entire lives whenever they experience this terrible disease. Now, I want everyone to know that I am approaching this from a 100% place of respect. I have had family members as well as people I know go through this terrible illness, and I don't want this to come off as a, oh look, I'm doing the 6-hour Everywhere at the End of Time challenge. Instead, this is a piece of art that I want to experience firsthand, and I know it's a lot for a lot of people to experience themselves, so hopefully by me doing this you can have a better idea or better understanding of not only of this track list and the artist, the Caretaker, but of the disease itself. So I am going to be listening to the entire 6.5-hour Everywhere at the End of Time live with you all. What I'm going to do is we're going to switch from the camera that you're watching through right now to this camera on the laptop, and everything's going to be centered through it so that way you can hear whatever I'm hearing. And I'm going to periodically check in whenever I have something to say regarding what I'm hearing and discuss it with you guys. And I also want to bring to light some other outside ideas while listening to it. For example, there have been people who have taken the emotions they experience while listening to it and comparing it to actual medical sites that give descriptions for how dementia can be, and they combine the two and they seem to mesh well, so we're going to try that. And again, I don't want this to come off as some challenge or cool thing that I'm doing on YouTube. I think that this is a very important artistic piece that's been put together, and I want to try to analyze it as much as possible. So what I'm going to be doing during the 6.5 hours is I will be listening through earbuds to the actual album, and I can pretty much do anything aside from that as long as there's not audio stimulation. Because for one, sitting in a corner and staring at a wall for 6.5 hours could have some other adverse side effects, and because we're scientists, we're simply testing one variable at a time. So I'm going to be walking around and on the computer and writing, or at least trying to do those things, with the only rule being that I have to continue listening to the music and cannot pause it. So we are going to be using this camera to watch through, this computer to do everything through, this microphone to talk to, and these earbuds to listen through, because if I have to suffer for the sake of better understanding art, I might as well get paid doing it, and this is an ad now. So I'm making this ad after I finished the video that you all are watching right now, and can in fact assure you that they worked well. A little too well. See, not only did it go full volume through the entire 6.5-hour experience with no issues, hangups, or what have you, but it highlighted every little beat or pinch or scratch, and every other awful noise I heard. And that's because Raycons are made for the optimal audio experience. The new everyday earbuds offer this improved sort of oil rubberized look and feel that not only looks very slick and clean on the outside, but sets very comfortably in your ear at the same time, and the optimized gel tips are perfect for an in-ear fit. Raycons offer 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, although as I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure that's lowballing it, since every time I use them, they seem to last for a lot longer. Not only that, but there's also a built-in mic, and to do something like take a call, all it takes is a single button press, and you never even have to get out your phone. Raycons also come in a very wide variety of colors and options. For example, I have this blue pair that was sent to me by them, as well as a sort of deluxe black pair that I bought myself. And all of their models are a Bluetooth audio system with excellent sound quality, long battery life, and no wires, because remember, wire bad. Not only that, but Raycon start their price at half the price of their competitors with an audio quality that's just as good, if not better. And to top all of that off, Raycon has a 45-day return policy, so if you get it in, decide that you don't like it, which you won't, and then want to send it back, you can at no charge to you. So Raycon has come to me today to bring you all this offer. If you go to the link in the description, which is buyraycon.com/Wendigoon, you will get your Raycon purchase for 15% off. And yes, that's 15% off the already half price that Raycons come at with a 45-day return policy. What's not to love? So if you're like me and need your Raycons to listen to a 6.5-hour dementia simulation, or listen to whatever normal people listen to, Raycon has got you covered. Thank you all so much for watching the ad. Thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring the video. It really does mean a lot. I hope that you go to the link in the description and get yourself a pair if you want them. It really does support me when you use the link, and it helps out the channel, and it means a lot. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you again to Raycon, and we are back to the video. So I am excited, not necessarily for what's about to happen to me, but I'm excited to better understand not only this piece of art, but the experience that the artist wants to get across with it. So hopefully you all enjoy, again, to whatever capacity you could enjoy this type of video. I promise the conspiracy iceberg's next, and we'll talk about funny giants and all that, I promise. But for now, hopefully you set through this ride with me, if you're willing, as much as possible. And either way, whatever you decide to do, I just want to say thank you for watching. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so here we go. The Caretaker, Everywhere at the End of Time. Stages 1 through 6. I am starting a 6-hour train I cannot get off of. And let's go. Not there. Okay, never mind. Anyway, now that we're there, beginning the 6.5-hour ride. Real quick, looking at this, it's segmented into the different tracks, but also the different stages. So stage 1, and then it's all the tracks through that. And then stage 2, you can see right there. And then it continues on. Then there's these really long gaps that the titles are concerning. Anyway, so here we go. No getting off this pony once it gets running. And let's do it. Oh boy. The ballroom music. While that's playing, I believe I have the audio set to where you can hear me while I'm talking over it. In the description for the video, the Caretaker gives descriptions of what each stage is. So with this, it's stage 1. It says, here, we experience the first signs of memory loss. This stage is most like a beautiful daydream, the glory of old age and recollection, the last of the great days. And this incredibly nostalgic, sort of melancholy music is troubling, considering I know where this is going. And then here, if we go to DementiaCentral.com, which I pulled up, which looks pretty legitimate to me, because remember, we're skipping stage 1, because stage 1 doesn't have any symptoms, so our stage 1 is in real dementia. Stage 2, it says stage 2 is very mild cognitive decline. The symptoms may be forget names, misplaces familiar objects, and symptoms not evident to loved ones or doctors. So it can just be basic forgetfulness. Which, going back to the music I'm hearing right now and you guys are hearing right now, it's very... It like, you know it's there, you can hear all the music just fine, but the weird little crackles in it It feels like it's a burned vinyl, sorta. Like it's just got some scratch, it's just got some build-up. So even though you can hear all the music, you can tell that it's a little bit wrong. So I am going to continue listening. If I have anything to say, I will come back and let you all know. Also, another thing to mention is the artwork of all this. So, like, looking at this, all of the different stages have their own distinct artwork that goes with them. And while it's never particularly said as this is all very abstract. Oh. Okay. A different song, but similar tone. Anyway, this seems to be like a rolled up book or magazine. At least that's what I get from it. It feels ruffled though. Like the suggestion is for stage 1, it's just a little bit off. It's just sort of nostalgic in a way. Because it feels like it's a perfectly rolled up magazine, but there's just sort of a gash through it or a wrinkle. And I guess that's kind of the part that I'm in right now. So I will come back if I have anything else to say, or if the music changes substantially. Hey, I'm back at 11 minutes in. I just wanted to point out, like, so I'm sat there listening to it, and as the different songs come in, I guess it's because I'm hyper focused on it, but the crackling seems to be getting louder. So, like this track playing right now is the same track from the beginning, but it feels emptier, if that, or more empty, whatever, if that makes sense. Also, looking at the track names, the first one is It's Just a Burning Memory, and then We Don't Have Many Days, Late Afternoon Drifting, and this one's Childishly Fresh Eyes, then Slightly Bewildered, Things That Are Beautiful and Transient, etc. I don't know if this is actually more distorted than what the first one was, or in other words, I don't know if there's actually more of it missing or if I'm just looking for it, but it's right on that line that I can't tell if it is. So the paranoia is already set in. So yeah, I'm 20 minutes in, I believe. Yeah, right at 20 minutes in. And I just want to say that this music is absolutely beautiful. I know it's going to become bad, and I know that the whole idea is that it's going to deteriorate and I'm going to be very sad. But right now, at this moment, it's so pretty. Like, I've been just listening to the sonnets and the strings and the drums. And what's also interesting is I read somewhere that the caretaker did if I like struggle with wording, it's because I'm listening to this much louder than you're hearing it, so I'm trying to talk through it. But the caretaker made this entire thing on a computer, and I know that like these are sample tracks and then he kind of edited and messed with them, but it sounds so beautiful right now. And I was sitting there listening to it thinking, man, I hope it can just stay, I hope I can just stay where I'm at and just stay in this moment, like as far as the music goes, and then realizing what that means for the overall point of the project. It's very it's a personal delivery of what this is trying to do. So that's where I'm at right now. All right, so we are now on to stage 2. So the happy and somber music is still kind of there. But remember how before there was like some holes in it or is a little like rusty? Now that's the majority of the noise, and it's kind of evenly balanced with the actual music. It's this like just cloud to listen through. Even the painting's kind of representative of that. Like looking at that image, I know it's a flower pot. Like I know what a flower pot is, and I can make it out, but I can't tell you what it's made of. And it almost looks at the base of it like it's two people. Like there's what looks like a boy on the left and a girl in a dress on the right, sort of dancing around it. But that's just, I mean, it's just a flower pot. It's weird, I know what it is, but I can't tell you the details of it. And as with the music, I can hear the music, but I can't hear it through the fog. Which I believe, yeah, the title of this track is Stage 2, and then we continue from there. With Stage 2, the description reads, the second stage is the self-realization and awareness that something is wrong with the refusal to accept that. More effort is made to remember, so memories can be more long-form with a little more deterioration in quality. The overall personal mood is generally lower than the first stage and at a point before confusion starts setting in. Which ties back into what I was saying, that it's still there, it's just harder to listen to. And then looking back at what would be stage 3, It says, this is again to do with actual dementia. Stage 3 is mild cognitive decline. Symptoms are increased forgetfulness, slight difficulty concentrating, decreased work performance, gets lost more frequently, difficulty finding right words, and loved ones begin to notice. This is the stage where this is the stage where most people begin to recognize it. And as with the music here, it went from just a little grainy to now it's hard to miss the quality of the actual track. So, yep, stage 2. Hey, I'm back. I think we're, right coming up on that 1 hour mark. So the music has changed. Like, now it's much more hostile. Not only is there still like the graininess of it, but there's these long drones that carry out for a while. I hear what's like really high-pitched strings that kind of sounds like a shriek. And every now and then there's the sound of like footsteps getting closer, or at least something that sounds like it. And even then, through the glimpses, I hear chords and sounds that are similar to stage 1. So I'm both really intently listening and afraid of what noise I'm going to hear. So I'm on edge. And it's not really part of the overall goal of making me forget or whatever. It's just like it's building up anxiety and making me nervous. So I am a sixth of the way through, and not even really related to the experiment. The noise just got creepy. So I'm doing great. Yeah. Something else that I also have to mention, we're a little bit further now. Yeah, we're an hour and 10 minutes. Every time that it switches tracks in stage 2, there's no carryover. It's like a stop. There's a dead stop, and then it continues, and that silence is so awful for some reason. I don't know what to make of that yet. I just don't like it. We are now at an hour and 20 minutes. In the past, stage 2 for the past 10-15 minutes has just been horror movie music. like I'm expecting some scream or noise to jump out and scare me, because it would honestly be a relief, but it's just tension and it's awful. Alright, so we are now on to stage 3. So this song that's playing in the background, I'm almost positive is the song stage 1, or the very beginning of this, opened with. However, as you can tell, it's so gone that if you hadn't have known it from the beginning, you wouldn't be able to make it out at all. And also, this painting that goes with it, it's like, it kind of looks like a floral arrangement, a little bit, I think, or greenery of some kind, but it's not really made of anything. And the brushstrokes are way too broad to tell. Whereas with the last stage, I could tell what it is, but I couldn't tell what it was made of. Here, I can't tell what it's made of, and I can't really tell you what it is or what's going on. And that in connection with the music's heartbreaking. Sorry, I forgot where my camera was setting. Now you should be able to see the image a bit better. Yeah, I can't make it out. And it's awful. And speaking of stage 3, the description for it reads, "Here we are presented with some of the last coherent memories before confusion fully rolls in and the gray mist form and fade away. Finest moments have been remembered. The musical flow in places is more confused and tangled. As we progress, some singular memories become more disturbed, isolated, broken, and distant. These are the last embers of awareness before we enter the post-awareness stages." That is such a horrific phrase, the post-awareness stages, man. And then again, reading about the actual details of stage 4 dementia, which, remember, 3 to 4, whatever, as moderate cognitive decline, it says difficulty concentrating, forgets recent events, cannot manage finances, cannot travel alone to new places, difficulty completing tasks, in denial about symptoms, socialization problems, withdraw from friends or family, physician can detect cognitive problems. So as to relate that back to where the music is at, here comes another one of those moments of silence. I absolutely hate it. I can tell what I'm familiar with. Like I said, that first track, that, as it says, the final memories, I can hear those memories from the beginning of this, but everything around it and it itself is so distorted it's hard to make out, and new stuff is just blurred. It's like I can't like learn the beats or learn the songs anymore. I'm just kind of grasping for what I already know from this track, or these tracks. So yeah, stage 3. Something else that's interesting about this stage, so where are we at? We are at an hour and a half in. Something that's interesting, or I say interesting, a detail about it while listening to it is that there's these little drones in the background. Like every now and then there'll be like a click, click, or like it sounds very mechanical, just noises will appear randomly. But not only that, some of the music that I can understand will go for a bit, then stop abruptly, and then another piece will pick up, and it's kind of like everything's mismatched. So even if I can make something out and kind of hang on to it, it's over as soon as it shows up. And I keep getting jumbled around whenever I try to hear something. So whenever I listen to it intently, I'm kind of like punished for it, if that makes sense. Okay, so all at once we cut from like the distorted music to this, which is just like broken audio and little robot noises and what sounds like people trying to talk in the background. Man, okay. So there's another 4 hours of this. It's like in a movie whenever someone's coming out of a coma and they just like hear everything at once, like it like sensations brand new. That's what it sounds like. Also, looking at the artwork for stage 4, the first thing that comes to mind is it's like a person standing to the side bladed, right? And it's like the clay is the hair, and then it's like someone's shoulders, and then like a shirt or a dress right beneath the shoulders. But the important feature is that you can't make out any details on the face. Like, you know it's a person there, but you can't recognize any of it. And I'd imagine that this is where forgetting people comes into play. Man, what's the name of this section? Stage 4, and then post-awareness confusions. Man, we've hit the point where, like, simulated at least, where cognition of things is non-existent. And then in the description, it says stage 4, post-awareness stage 4 is where serenity and the ability to recall singular memories gives way to confusion and horror. It's the beginning of an eventful process where all memories begin to become more fluid through entanglements, repetition, and rupture. So I assume this is the part where I begin to stop recognizing actual tracks and tunes. You know, something interesting about this, I remember a study that said with dementia patients, normally one of the last things that they forget is music. Like the last thing they'll forget is their favorite song. They'll be able to hum it and recognize the tune because it's ingrained in them somewhere. Even after they forgot things like people and events and abilities, they'll remember music. So there's something especially heartbreaking about telling that story through the form of music. And then going back to stage 5 on our chart, the symptoms are, well, the definition for stage 5 is moderately severe cognitive decline. Symptoms are major memory deficiencies, need assistance with ADLs, such as dressing or bathing, forget details like address or phone number, doesn't know time or date, doesn't know where they are. So this is really, man, getting into the part where they can't really process, or someone with this couldn't really process details about them that are necessary. That combined with the music I'm listening to right now is haunting. Man, there's another like 4 hours of this. Oh my word. Alright, anyway, yeah. Alright, 2.5 hours in. It's getting to the point, like this droning over and over in my head. It's not only making me nervous like I mentioned before, but it's getting hard to do stuff. Like playing video games or looking at my phone or whatever. I'm just like, I'm losing the ability to focus on it because of these noises just over and over. So I'm getting to the point of not only anxiety, but like frustration with this. So that's where I'm at. Do you hear this? It's much louder for me right now. I am upset. The things I do for you people. Something I've noticed that's really weird about, well, I mean, it's intentional, but it's odd, is even with as messed up as the music you can hear right now is, if I try to listen really intently, I feel like I can hear glimpses, like little beats and stuff, from music that I've heard earlier. And I don't know if that's intentional. Well, I know it's intentional, but I don't know if there's actually music there or if it's just me filling in the gaps. But it's something, alright? This has just been horror music for the past however long. Like, I'm scared. Like, do you hear this? Do you hear that? Do you know what I'm going through? Anyway, looking at the title, this section's called Post-Awareness Confusions. So, the scrambled back and forth thoughts and everything must be the complete just like lack of cognition. Like, because that's what it sounds like, it's just confusing. So, at the current stage we're in, as you can tell compared to what you heard last time I was talking, this is much more pleasant. Like, it's not really music. I mean everything's music, but it's not really like a lot of cadence or beat or whatever. But the sort of disjointed sounds sound decent. They sound calming compared to everything else around it. And that's because this section of this track is called Temporary Bliss State, or the idea that people who are going through this will have these moments of not really cognition, but of bliss or serenity in the middle of it, where everything's okay for a while before or after confusion sets in. So what I'm hearing is kind of like an island in the ocean in the midst of everything being terrible. It's like this one nicety. And it's like, as weird as it sounds, it's calming right now compared to what I've been hearing. And I'm quite fond of it. And then as we're coming to the close of stage 4, the section's titled Post-Awareness Confusions. That music that was there before is kind of more haunting now. It's more spaced out, and it implies that things are going to be bad again. And here we are at stage 5. This is static and people trying to talk, and noises, and everything happening at once. And I can't understand any of it. I can't even, like, looking at that picture, it's just pure abstract. I don't even know what it's trying to be, or even close to. It kind of looks like someone on a staircase, maybe? A little bit, I have no idea. Man, oh, that's heavy, okay. Stage 5 description reads as Post-Awareness, Stage 5 Confusions and Horror. More extreme entanglements, repetition, and rupture give way to calmer moments. The unfamiliar may sound and feel familiar. Time is often spent only in the moment into isolation. I am getting, at least right now in the beginning, 0 moments of calm. It is entirely chaotic. And then reading stage 6 on the site, whenever it comes to dementia itself, it says that symptoms can include cannot carry out ADLs without help, forgets names and family members, forgets recent events, forgets major events in past, difficulty counting down from 10, incontinence, difficulty speaking, personality and emotional changes, delusions, compulsions, and anxiety. This is a full state of disconnect from all social standing, which is why the music is just unhinged noise and madness, and it's terrifying, especially with as loud it is to me right now, because it's supposed to be, because in a condition in which someone is experiencing all of this, it is terrifying to go through all this at once, because I can pull these out and I can be done with it. But the idea that someone could experience life in a way that they don't know anything that's happened to them, and they don't know what's going on, and it's just constant fear, is heartbreaking. You know, I've been listening to 40 minutes of whatever this is, and it quit being terrifying, and now it's just kind of like a dream. Like, you know how whenever you think about most dreams, not like lucid dreams, but when you think about dreams after the fact, they just kind of blend the details of it, and like you can, like when you wake up, you can tell, oh, obviously that wasn't real, but while you were in the dream, it felt real. This is what thinking about a dream feels like at this point. Like, it's there, but you know it's not real. And if, like, the purpose of this is supposed to be, like, the music's representative of memories, the fact that I think it's music, but I can't tell anything about it. Yep, I've been eating this cookie, though. I started eating food. There's nothing else to do. This is really loud. It's like the longest jump scare build up ever. Actually, hold on. This video's got comments on it. My great-grandmother had dementia at 85 years old. One day I walked into her house like any other day, and she grabbed the nearest thing to attack me with, thinking I was someone breaking into her house. She didn't even know me anymore. Some time ago, I was at my grandparents' house for Sunday dinner. When I arrived, I noticed that my grandparents had some guests over. They had invited my grandfather's cousin Joe and his wife, I sadly forgot her name, over to eat with us. When it was time for dinner, we all started talking as usual. I forget what the conversation was about, but Joe's wife ended up saying something along the lines of, "I need to speak with my brothers and sisters again, it's been a while." After she said this, the table went silent and I wasn't sure why. The silence was broken, with Joe saying something like, "Honey, they're all past," in a sad tone. Joe's wife went on to say, "Really? All of them are gone?" This was the moment, along with some other signs, that I realized she had dementia. This put me into a weird feeling sadness for the rest of the day leading on to the next. About 2 days after the Sunday dinner, my mom had informed me that Joe's wife passed away the night before. It felt so odd knowing that someone who I had just met and talked to, who seemed to have a good amount of life left in her, had died. It made me think, ignoring the fact that that's a Peter Griffin profile picture. I'm trying to find anything that isn't this. Hey, look, Mudahar's over here. Hi, Mudahar. I'll watch you when I'm done with this. A 10-hour loop? That's pretty much... Oh, but just the beginning song. Okay. Alright, whatever. Oof, this one. Imagine listening to this for the first time and scrolling through the comments just to find a comment you wrote years ago. I knew this whole YouTube channel was in my head. When your advanced dementia gets interrupted by honey. I don't think there's any mid-rolls in this. I think I would have ran into one by now. That would be funny, though. Looks like everyone here is as equally depressed about this as I am. Fun fact, every stage gets more scratchier and grainier, signifying the fact plaque building up in the brain. How does this connect with records? Records make grainy noises when plaque builds up in the grooves. I'm not sure if I'd consider that a fun fact, but yeah. Is it weird that, like, the music right now that you all are hearing, like, I'm sure that sounds really weird to you guys, and it is weird, but it's almost like the drums are almost kind of, they have a cadence to them a bit. But listen to this now, it's kind of a choir. It feels historical, monumental. I don't know. It feels like almost calming in a scary kind of way. I guess that's what acceptance is, but like listening to it for this long, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just kind of pleasant that it's there, I guess. I don't know. Homeboy shouldn't have passed me the aux. Could you see me in a car with friends and they're like, yo, play something, and you just turn this on? Oh my word. No guys, we let the whole song play through. 2 hours left. So we're coming up on right around the 5-hour mark. The music is a lot more sparsed out than it was previous. Like previously it was just all at once, all together, or the music, the noise. And now it's much more like sort of desolate, I guess. It feels like it's harder to find the details of it, it's harder to actually hear it as it just shows up less, which again in relation to the concept is frightening. I took one of my earbuds out. I still have the other one in going. I took one out just because I was getting headaches from the noise so loud. I'm still listening to it, still haven't stopped, but it's just like I'm not giving myself a throbbing headache over it. So yeah, that's how that's going. But yeah, we are, let me see, 5 hours. I think we're about to hit, yeah, stage 6. And oh boy. Alright, we just hit stage 6, which seems to just be white noise. Also, so that you all can see, this is the image for stage 6, which is just a blank canvas, and that in combination with the noise is haunting. It's just nothing. It's the lack of anything. Man, okay, what's the name of this section? Stage 6, and then a brutal bliss beyond this empty defeat. A long decline is over. Place in the world fades away. Alright, what's the description say? It says, post-awareness, stage 6 is without description. Then if we go over here, which this would be stage 7, which is very severe cognitive decline or late dementia, cannot speak or communicate, require help with most activities, loss of motor skills, cannot walk. This is like just the absence, the after. Then down here in like fast assessment, it says speech ability declines to about half a dozen intelligible words, progressive loss of ability to walk, to sit up, to smile, and to hold head up. Again, if music in this is supposed to be relation to memories, and as you hear the music, it's in relation to what someone at that stage may be experiencing with memories, this is literally just none. It's just silence. It's like it's trying to make music, but there isn't any. Man, okay. An hour and a half of white noise. Yay! Hello everyone. It's me again, back from the pit of despair. We've got another hour left. It's just been like this for all of stage 6. It's randomly broken up by noises of what sounds like rocks being like thrown on walls, and like these little crashes and like pitter patters, and it's making me incredibly anxious. And I hate it, which I'm supposed to. I understand symbolically I'm not supposed to enjoy this. It's not supposed to be fun, and it's not. So yeah, an hour left. Cool. Hello. I'm back. Well, for you, I'm not back. It's just been cut up. But for me, it's been another, I think, 30 minutes. Yeah, 5:57. We are like half an hour away, and I never have to listen to this again. Like, just like the fuzziness, and then these random like drones that come in when we get up. I hate it. Like that. Like that. Noises like that. And I don't like it. But I'm almost there. See, like, it is humbling, and it does make me thankful, because like this is a simulation that isn't near as bad as the real thing or what the art's demonstrating, right? And also the fact that like I said earlier, I can take these earbuds out, but the imagining this played out over the course of years and in a much worse state is haunting. And this project really does make you think. So yeah. So I'm coming back in at 6:10, so 20 minutes left. Because it went from like quiet. Okay, there's some noise. It did go from like quiet to nothing, just absolute silence. And it's weird. It's almost like hearing the drones, like those long drones, is more calming than just the abject void of noise. Like relating it back to like the disease it's talking about, this is like a complete loss of higher order thinking or function. There's literally nothing. There's literally moments of nothing followed by just sort of these moments of hazy noise like that. So yeah, 20 minutes left. So I'm back, and I'm putting the other ear back in because I'm hearing for the first time what sounds like music since I don't even know, man. Like, where are we at? 6:17. See, stage 5's when it just, honestly, stage 4 too. There was no music for the first time in over 4 hours. I'm hearing music again. Like, it's faint and it's weird. It's that sort of swelling chords. But it's really nice to hear music again. And considering the name of this track is Place in the World Fades Away, and the fact that it's been getting worse and worse, and now all of a sudden the music is back. Man, that's heavy, because like, oof, even though I know what it means, even though I know what it's like involving, just the fact that it's been like bad for so long, the fact that I'm hearing something now is so pleasant. Oh man, that's heavy. Ooh. Man, alright. Yep, that hit. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Alright. I'll be back shortly. Like, talk about a way as an artist to get your point home. Like, you build up this tension. Like, it starts decent, but then it's just tension for the rest of it. And then for 4 hours, it's just like painful and scary and anxious and everything. And then at the end, to bring back the music, it just says a whole lot more than words ever can. Wow. Okay, back again. A piano, I think, in the last 6 minutes. That is definable music for the first time in 4 hours. Like, those last chords, like, I thought were music, but I guess that was like the prelude to it. And now it's actual, like, instruments. It's almost a voice. Ah, man. It's like, oh, it's like angelic for a reason. Man, this is heavy. Okay. Alright, so we're coming up on the end. And the music's fading out. It's just silence, I think. So there was regular music that slowly became distorted, and then there was a void of sound, and then there was this intense confusion and madness, and then just silence and droning, followed by an angelic choir, and now absolutely nothing. Someone's entire journey, over the course of 6 hours. Man, just looking at that blank canvas, I didn't expect that ending to like really be like the full impact of it. Yeah, that's it. No, thank you, Chromebook. Okay. Man, I'm going to take a minute to gather my thoughts, and then we'll switch back to the camera that you all are used to, and we'll wrap this up. So, thank you for watching this far. Well, that was certainly something. You know, I went into it with the slightest expectation that I was going to find the whole thing pretentious. And if you think that it still is, that's totally fine. That's your own opinion. But like, as far as artistry goes, and especially art like this, where the interpretation or the emotions that you receive during it is the main point, it absolutely hit home for me while listening to it. I remember I always used to think that paintings like Picasso was just kind of pretentious. At least the people who were really into it or talked about the greater meaning behind it were, and I still kind of do about them. But my girlfriend Kayla convinced me to go to see an exhibit of Picasso's works. And while I was there looking at the paintings, there was this moment where I was looking at the details of it, because it showed all his portraits, right? And it showed he had the portrait of what he painted next to what the original person looked like. So for example, if the lady that he painted had a large nose, on the painting it would be this incredibly exaggerated nose and everything else drawn around it. And there was this eureka moment I had while looking at it, where I got the purpose of Picasso's works, or at least his portraits, were to highlight the most notable characteristics of a person and make everything else fit around it. And when you think about his paintings that way, it's kind of like a memory. It's kind of like while you're looking at it, it's the way you would remember the features of a person. During Everywhere at the End of Time, especially in the ending, whenever I was so desperate for there to be some manner of cadence or music, because it started with music, and then it began to break up the tone, make the audio fuzzy, and made it completely unenjoyable, and then there was no music, and I was just so desperate for anything. So when at the very end there was some music, and I was so thankful for the music I had, as distorted, as grainy, as covered up as it was, I was just thankful that I could hear again. And applying that to what the purpose of the piece is, I got it. And I know that's sort of a pretentious thing to say, and it is a lot. You could think I'm pretentious right now for talking about it. That's totally fine. But with this, that moment I had where I said, oh, I got it, was just in regards to the, like, people who go through this do not have the luxury of being able to pause or being able to take their earbuds out or whatever, because it occurs over the course of the rest of their life. So there at the end, where after just 4 hours, I was so thankful to just hear something again. The imagination of what people go through in that state is horrific. And you want to talk about a horror piece, this is the most, like, existentially terrified I've been in a long time. And I thought, like, and that's the purpose of it, right? Like, you're not supposed to feel good during this. And for a horror piece, for something that made me very introspective and grateful for the life that I have, I think it absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I didn't enjoy it in the sense that one may enjoy something, like, I'm never listening to that again. But I enjoyed it in the sense of what it made me think about and sort of the ideas that it made me come up with during it. I enjoyed it in the sense that I appreciate it. For those of you who may not ever want to listen to it but have a sort of vapid curiosity with it, I hope that maybe this video was enough, or it kind of gave you insight to how one may feel during it. But either way, either you enjoyed my suffering, which is totally fine, that's what the channel's here for, or you liked just seeing someone else talk about it. I hope that you enjoyed the video as much as you could, and as always, thank you for watching. This has got to be the most, like, weird sort of experimental video I've done, at least top 5 on the channel. I can't think of anything that even remotely competes with how odd this was. A 6-hour simulation of dementia. But I think it's an effective one, especially, like, because I try to cover, like, the creepy and the weird and the horrific, which this thing was all of those. And like I said, I appreciate it for what it was, and I hope that you, in some regard, enjoyed this video, especially if you hear this. Like, I have no idea what this is going to cut to. Obviously, the recording for it has now been 7 hours at this point, considering the intro, this outro, and the 6.5-hour recording. No clue what this is going to cut down to, but however long it's been for you all, I hope that you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for continuing to support the channel as much as you have. We are at, I think, 570,000 now, which is, again, a fake number. This is all a dream, and none of it makes sense, but thank you all so much for getting me here. I really don't deserve it, but you guys are fantastic, and thank you for the support you've given me. Thank you so much to my patrons over here. Thank you to my top tier patrons that you can see. You guys are awesome. Supporting the channel monetarily is something that I can never, well, I guess I do ask for. It's something I can never expect or thank you all enough for, and I greatly appreciate it. So just thank you for your time. Thank you for your dedication and consideration. It means a lot, and I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. I wasn't kidding earlier. Next video I plan to do, well, I never know with the ads getting approved and with the edits which one's going to come out first. At the time of recording this, the next thing I'm going to work on is the conspiracy theory iceberg. If that comes out before this or after, I don't know, but expect that around the same time. Either way, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I am going to go lie down, drink coffee, and listen to probably Kanye, or I don't know, just some music that is actually discernible. This was wild. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you have a great day. Thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next one.